You're listening to Backstage Leadership Conversations, brought to you by the Digital Tourism Think Tank in collaboration with Abu Dhabi's Department of Culture and Tourism. I'm Nick Hall and I'll be your host for the series. So join me as I take a global view on the exciting trends and developments happening in the MICE sector, with a multitude of truly insightful leadership conversations from truly global perspectives, all recorded right here in Abu Dhabi. Throughout this series, we'll be discussing sustainability, events for impact, horizon technologies, and considering the implications for business events and the wider sector. So if you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, be sure to do so now, wherever you get your podcasts. In today's episode, we're delighted to introduce to you a thought-provoking discussion with Amjad Shacker, who has undertaken key leadership roles in the region, including as the acting CEO of the Saudi Conventions and Exhibition General Authority. He brings a wealth of knowledge from the forefront of Saudi Arabia's burgeoning MICE sector. Throughout our discussion, we'll delve into the ambitious projects and rapid developments currently taking place in Saudi Arabia's events landscape. Amjad will share his insights on the investment opportunities, job creation, and the role of technology in the sector, including the impact of AI and digital twins. Additionally, we'll explore some of the unique advantages and strategic plans that set Saudi Arabia apart when it comes to their positioning in the global MICE sector. So let's fast forward and hear more about those ambitious plans as we shine a light on Saudi Arabia.
Thank you for having me. My name is Amjad Shacker. I'm the acting CEO for the Saudi Conventions and Exhibitions General Authority. Instead of using that long name, we will just agree to use SEGA for short. So that's the acronym by which we go. SEGA is the government entity responsible for the regulation of the MICE industry. Our remit also includes enhancing the ecosystem, which is comprised of the infrastructure, the ease of doing business for the professional event organizers, professional conference organizers, training the human capital, and enhancing the sector all over, regardless of the above-mentioned remit.
Now, Saudi is undergoing rapid growth right now, some really ambitious projects in the pipeline. And of course, the MICE sector holds a lot of opportunity, both to focus on how we can develop these further, but also as a key part of the sector. Tell me, where do you see some of the biggest opportunities right now when we think about 2023 for the sector globally, but also in your own perspective?
The sector is growing rapidly, and the reason for that is because government is investing heavily into mega projects. Saudi Arabia 2.0, as I like to call it, started roughly about 8 years ago when the country embarked on its 2030 vision. It prioritized 24 sectors where it sees competitive advantages, be it existing ones or ones that are underserved that it needs to bring online. Our job is to be looking at these 24 sectors at any given point in time and find out which ones are being served well by the MICE events currently held or in the pipeline. If we see that one or two aren't up to par, this is where we step in and work with the private sector to help attract new IPs or create new IPs. This creates a lot of investment opportunities and also creates a lot of employment opportunities for people. This increases the demand for space, which is an issue we're addressing right now. Capacity is very important. So we are looking at various solutions to address the demand for increased capacity, the training needs for the human capital, the needed investments to bring in people from outside the country so that they can help us either by transferring knowledge or setting up shop. And setting up shop in Saudi Arabia has proven very lucrative. I was talking to one lady during one of the events that happened about 3 weeks ago, and she told me she'd been in Saudi Arabia for 2 years. And I asked her how business was doing. She said, we grew by 400%. So we're interested in helping create jobs for Saudis, helping SMEs thrive, bringing in IPs, bringing in operators from outside. So all of the above is on the menu.
Now, we've heard a lot about some of the exciting technology developments that are happening right now, AI. We've heard about digital twins. And of course, you're still very much building up the sector. How do you think these technologies and developments will shape that journey?
If we go by just one event as a measure, I would use Leap. Leap last year was phenomenal. According to the numbers we have, more than 170,000 people attended. And this is the second edition of Leap. The next edition of Leap is going to be at a venue that is 3.5 times the size of the previous venue, just because the demand is absolutely incredible. And Leap is our highest tech event, and it is attracting people from Riyadh and outside Riyadh and outside Saudi Arabia as well. This is where all things tech have a meeting of minds. So that addresses your question, and the demand just keeps on increasing phenomenally.
How important is it to take part in forums like this here in Abu Dhabi, where you can reach out to your counterparts around the world, share ideas, share best practice and knowledge and insights?
It is no secret that the region is growing, and this growth is prompted by several factors. I addressed a question earlier about what is it that this region can offer that is different from other parts of the world. This region, thank God, enjoys political stability. Decision-making here happens much faster than other countries. This region also enjoys very strong central banks. So that means capital is safe in this part of the world. And capital is very fleeting, but it wants to be somewhere where there is stability. This is one of the strongest elements that any investor looks for. So that is the first step that anyone needs to overcome to decide where they're going to put their money. Then we have the economic boom that is happening all across the region. The MICE industry mirrors growth. So if there is a boom, the MICE industry grows. Hence, we have been meeting more frequently as of late so that we can all coordinate our efforts and help the entire region thrive. And we understand that if the region thrives as a whole, the industry thrives as a whole. And these are the premises based on which we work.
Now, you've obviously had a chance to get a good glimpse of the industry here. How would you say the offer that you're developing in Saudi Arabia differs to what we have here in Abu Dhabi? And what are some of the things that you admire most about the Abu Dhabi approach?
Each country has its own set of KPIs. Each country has its own competitive advantages and has its own strategic plans and specific strategic sectors. So each country addresses those, and there is enough to go around. I'll give you an example. Europe has competition within a country, within the continent itself, and with other parts of the world. That competition helped strengthen the position. So being in a region that is thriving across the board helps all of us thrive. It is the congregation. This region is becoming more of a mall for events, if you will. So if there is a mall of events, you bring everything under one region, it becomes a lot easier to hold these events because you're just within driving distance or short flight distance from each other. Abu Dhabi has been at the forefront of the destinations in the region doing this. The leadership here has been very smart in addressing all the points that are needed to make it easy to hold events. It is also a great destination for tourism. It is attracting a lot of international names to boost that offering. So all these things help to make Abu Dhabi a great destination for tourism and MICE.
So competitiveness is key to growing the sector across the region, and especially an important factor for yourself in Saudi Arabia.
Competitiveness goes so far, but you need to translate that into action on the ground. Competitiveness is always in everybody's mind. Everybody is thinking about being competitive. But what you do about it is what makes a difference. And when you start putting together plans that are concrete and you implement on the ground, and the speed with which you implement makes a difference for people.
Thank you very much for taking the time to sit with us today.
Thanks for having me.
As we wrap things up, let's reflect on some of the key takeaways from today's insightful conversation with Amjad Shacker. Saudi Arabia's MICE industry is experiencing rapid growth, driven by significant government investment in mega projects outlined in the 2030 vision. These developments are creating abundant opportunities in the sector, attracting international operators, and of course, fostering job creation. We also explored the technological advancements shaping the industry, with events like LEAP demonstrating the massive demand and growing interest in high-tech gatherings. The importance of regional cooperation, political stability, and swift decision-making emerged as pivotal elements that set the Middle East apart in the global MICE landscape. Finally, the competitive spirit is very strong, but it's the actionable plans and strategic implementations that truly push the sector forward. Each country in the region, including Saudi Arabia, is leveraging its unique advantages to contribute to a thriving MICE ecosystem. You've been listening to Backstage Leadership Conversations. Be sure to hit subscribe to make sure you don't miss any future episodes. If you're enjoying the series, why not take a moment to leave a review or get in touch and let us know what you think. Discover more industry insights by heading over to our website, thinkdigital.travel, where you'll find lots more interviews, podcasts, case studies, and industry research, all at the click of a button. Thanks to the Abu Dhabi Department of Culture and Tourism for making this possible, and thank you for joining us today.